The Baltic Sea cruise is one of the best experiences you are ever gonna have. Not only is the cruise great, but the ports are also a great experience as well. The Baltic Sea cruise starts in Copenhagen and has stops in Berlin, Estonia, St. Petersburg, and Helsinki. It normally also has stops in Stockholm, but we had to skip over it due to inclement weather. Must-see places in Copenhagen are Nyhavn, Rosenborg Palace, Strage, and Little Mermaid statue. Must-see places in Berlin are Brandenburg Gate, Reichstag, the Memorial for the Murdered Jews, Checkpoint Charlie, and the Berlin Wall Memorial. Must-see places in Tallinn are Old Town and Tompay Hill. Must-see places in St. Petersburg are the Nava River, the Hermitage Museum, Peterhof Palace, the Summer Gardens, and the Church of the Spilled Blood. The Baltic Sea cruise is absolutely amazing. I have nothing but good things to say about it. Copenhagen has tons of breathtaking sights including Nyhavn, Rosenborg Castle, and Strage. Berlin is full of history. Among my favorites are the Memorial for the Murdered Jews and the Brandenburg Gate. Tallinn is a beautiful old city that has a medieval feel to it. Unfortunately, not many people know about it. St. Petersburg was the highlight of the trip. I feel like I could have spent 3 or 4 days here. The churches, palaces, and museums here are a sight to behold. Helsinki is a beautiful and relaxing Scandinavian country with beautiful churches and seaside views. Overall, I really like the Baltic Sea cruise. I like visiting Berlin and St. Petersburg the best. St. Petersburg is a must visit. The palaces and churches there are beautiful. St. Petersburg is a must visit. The palaces and churches there are absolutely stunning. Sites like the Hermitage Museum and the Church of the Spilled Blood are must see. Berlin has many historical sites including the Reichstag and the Berlin Wall. The cruise itself was a bit underwhelming, but it was still a good overall experience because of the ports on the trip. I thought the Baltic Sea cruise was okay. I like Copenhagen and St. Petersburg the best. There wasn't that much to do in Tallinn, Helsinki, and Berlin in my opinion. St. Petersburg was definitely the highlight of the trip. My favorite attractions were the Hermitage Museum and Peterhof Palace. I also enjoyed the Nava River boat tour. It was a great way to see all of St. Petersburg. In Copenhagen, my 2 favorite attractions were Nyhavn and the iconic Little Mermaid statue. The cruise itself was a bit boring. It didn't help that we had to skip Stockholm, so that added an additional day on the ship that I didn't anticipate. To be honest, I thought the Baltic Sea cruise was overhyped. I was somewhat disappointed in the fact that we had to skip over Stockholm. The Tallinn and Helsinki ports were very boring. There wasn't much to see there. There really wasn't enough time in Berlin to see all that I wanted to. The only reason you would go on this trip is to visit St. Petersburg. While St. Petersburg was nice, I felt the itinerary was a bit rushed. We had to complete everything in 2 days. Typically, you would spend 3 to 4 days there. Okay, so maybe not everyone will love it, but for sure, the ports on the Baltic Sea cruise will give you a memory that will last a lifetime.